think a lot of students were enthusiastic about it, and they took to it pretty well. I think both faculty and students were a bit surprised at how much more work it is to take and to teach an online class. That was kind of a steep learning curve for everybody involved, just the amount of time and the amount of writing that was involved.
Online teaching had been coming into its own, but tools were changing at that time, and the pedagogy and the expectations were becoming more sophisticated, I believe, when I first started teaching. And so it was exciting to be involved in some of the new tools and some of the new software that was available, and figuring out how to incorporate them to recreate the classroom experience online.
There was a lot of experimentation, and I think after I'd taught the online film class for 3 or 4 years, it took me about that long to figure out really how to manage the discussion boards, because the film class and also the English classes and lit classes are heavily discussion based. And discussion forums, if they're not properly managed, they can just become kind of a dumping ground for, hey, I agree, good point, that sort of stuff that doesn't really advance a conversation, doesn't really mimic what happens in a good classroom discussion. So it took some experimenting with that.
I think some of the biggest changes that I've noticed over the years is that the tools change and the technology changes, but the way that I communicate with students still remains the same. So I might do it in a different way as students develop new tastes and new tools become available, but the core of teaching online is to ensure that I'm communicating the content in a way that the students want to receive it and is effective. And that will continue to change as I continue in my career, but I hope to maintain that same core as I go throughout my years here at Parkland.